Hi, YouTube. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I just got through rearranging my room and cleaning and dusting and all that stuff. I put my desk back where it was before. Um, oh, I see. Just a minute here. It's I have a secretary desk. It comes out, flips down and comes out. And then I've got a bookcase that goes on top of it, but I've got it separate, so I've got more room for things to put on it. In my room, I've got my TV sitting on it, my one I use for the internet, and my other ones for local channels in case the internet goes down. So anyway, um, yeah, with my Roku TV, I've got a better sound system set up with it. So, um, not sure what I'm going to talk about today. Just saying hello. I think actually I was going to work outside today. I was going to clean that kitty house out there, take the straw out of it and clean it up, their bedding and all that. But there's four little kitties in there. There might be more. And it's really cold and windy out today. So I decided, no, I don't want to disrupt their house and get them running outside into the cold, and that's not good. Some of them are only a few weeks old, so um, yeah. But with this lighting now, it's just weird no matter what area I am in this room. This is the only lighting I have where I don't look like I'm dead. I don't know why. Um, every other angle, if I put it that way or over on that wall, I've tried every angle, and it's only this one because of that big window that I've got. So, um, I don't know. It's odd. I don't even have a light on right now, and it's cloudy out, and it's 4:21 here p.m. And so I don't know, it's just weird. As you can see, the rose in my cheeks, I have color in my face actually, but it doesn't look like it how I had it before. So anyway, so it's better. Yeah. I got to get a new door. That's a door to my bedroom. I did put contact paper over it, but at one time I had this kind of like a day room, living room type of thing, and I had put a couch in here. And when I went to bring the couch in here by myself, and it was a really long one of them ones you call a studio couch, I had it up on its side, I think, or because we have really tall ceilings out in that room and this room, and I think I was had it up and I was trying to bend it down. I don't remember. It's been a long time ago, but I put a hole through the door. It's a hollow door. It's not solid wood. So I gotta get a I did cover it up, like I say, with contact paper, and then it was getting really old. And the bummer about it is the doorknobs I have are crystal, and they're like a couple 100 years old, out of this motel that's called the Yellowstone, and it's in Buffalo, Minnesota, where Doug grew up. His dad got these for us, some of these old antique doorknobs when they were tearing the place apart. So it's the hotel at the beginning of the Yellowstone Trail, and it was called the Yellowstone Trail Hotel, I think. But anyway, I have these old, you've probably seen them before. They're, the crystal type. I'll show you real quick, just a sec, I think. Oops. might have showed them before on here, but see that? Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Right here. That's crystal. I have one on each side. Um, Dad glued them on there for me. I'm sure they can be taken off. They don't turn. They were just there. Maybe I'll just not even worry about it. I don't know. But they're just pretty. I love crystal stuff. I have a crystal collection of different things, and so anyway, I've seen where, well, and then Doug's dad took some of them and put them on a board. You've probably seen them before, some of these old brass ones that he had. And he took like four of them and put them on a board where you can like hang it like a picture and then use it for like a hat rack or a coat rack, just hanging on the doorknobs, you know. It's cute, especially for saving antiques and part of history, you know. I had passed around. Oh, I had worked at a drug treatment center as a trained medical assistant and a counselor. And it used to be a tuberculosis ward. It's about 3 miles on the other side of the lake from us. So it was real close to go to work and all that stuff. But it closed down, and this Minnesota page of historians and whatever had sent that around today, and it's been for sale for the longest time. I think they closed their doors for a treatment center about, oh, at least 10 years ago, but they only had that it was like built in like 1912 or something like that, and had been used for tuberculosis till the 50s. And then they gave the impression that it was sitting there empty for decades. No, it was a treatment center right up until, like I say, about 10 years ago, probably, is when they finally closed their doors. So I informed them. And then some other person had got on there and said that their dad had been a patient there for drug treatment, you know. So, but anyway, they were talking about turning it into a bread and breakfast or a hotel or um, something like that. They have no idea. Yeah, it's a beautiful building. It's brick. It's got stained glass windows, but they have no clue what that foundation or roof or any of it actually looks like in person and what that place looks like in person. They have no idea that they'd have to. I'm a contractor, a licensed contractor. They would have to redo the foundation first, then they'd have to redo all the electric, all the plumbing, and the roof. And some of the windows are busted out, and everything needs paint inside, and you'd have to scrape it down or redo all the walls. They have no idea what they would be getting themselves into. And I don't think our area is actually big enough to carry. We've got one B&B over on another lake really close, bread and bed and breakfast type thing where you rent for like a weekend on the lake or whatever. But even to turn this into a historical piece and open it to the public, it's just foolish. It had cost so much money to redo that thing. They want 120,000 for the property and for the building. If somebody bought the property just for that lake lot, there's great fishing right off the dock there and one of the best swimming spots on the lake. So if somebody was going to build a really beautiful house there, that'd be one thing. But to try and restore that building, that'd be foolish in my opinion. So I let him know. I just told him he'd have to redo everything, you know. So, yeah, and it's spooky as even when I worked there, it was unnerving for me to go down in the basement and up into the rooms where the beds were, where the people were and stuff. I mean, down in the dining area, and there was like a day room and other that I didn't have a problem with that, but them other areas where people had died and stuff, I could just feel it, ish. And it's so filthy. I mean, it was filthy when I worked there. I mean, I'd walk around with a spray bottle continuously cleaning everything behind everybody because keep in mind these were people that were detoxing off of really hard drugs and sometimes several different kinds all at one time. So yeah, I spent a lot of my time cleaning. So did they. I mean, that was part of what they were supposed to do too. Some of them did with no problem, but others didn't. Some of them were pretty sick and really couldn't even help themselves, may not have even lived through it. So, yeah. The nurse I worked with, um, her and I really had to chew on the state, and it's like you're willing to give these people drugs to come off of their drugs, but you're not willing to give them extra vitamins or things that we thought as medical professionals that these people should have been getting. And so we got it where they could get on their medical um, vitamins and different things that they might need individually to help them. So we fought the state for that and won. So that was pretty cool. And I'm glad I was working with somebody that thought about people like that also, because when your body is dilapidated, um, you need all the vitamins you can get, and sometimes you can't eat enough of what you actually need from destroying, your body for decades or whatever. So, cheers, everybody. So, yeah, I still got lots of work to do in this room. I don't know when I'm going to be doing it, the rest, like paneling it and whatever. I have no clue. Had taken I made this room out of old material that's all waterproof, and I stitched it together like a giant quilt and then stapled it. So that's why it looks so odd, because I didn't have wall covering. I couldn't afford it, but I had tons of material. So and I wasn't even feeling good when I did it, but I had to cover the insulation. Most people are allergic to it anyway, that pink stuff. So I had to cover it um, and move in this room so I could have a room to myself and not be bothered. So that's what I did. And that's why it looks so weird. So I don't know if you ever knew anybody that actually sewed above their head, but you're looking at a giant quilted room, except for this tapestry and a couple other spots. So, yeah, just so you know, somebody asks, like, what are those, like, mats or, like backgrounds? No, no, just whatever I had um, is what I made it out of. So, yeah, that's what you do when you don't have any money. You have to be ingenious or intuitive, improvise. So, heard somebody say something about a musician that didn't improvise or something like that. Yeah, they do. I don't I can't recall what was said. It was something that was just kind of backwards. Um uh the word, let me think for the word. There's another word for, oh, maybe I'll think of it. I don't know. I am pretty tired. I started early this morning and just got done and did a whole bunch of sweeping around the kitchen and the entryway in different places. So yeah, I'm a little tired. I've done enough today. Today. Yeah, I did my exercises too this morning and then got busy. So yeah, I did stop long enough to listen to Lady Babylon talking about what a Christ is. I did share that on here. It's actual fact, you know, doesn't mean, and it is described as a death inducing drug out of most of Galen's work, which is 10% of the Greek that was written in ancient times, that modern scholars and people that call them linguists, self linguists and classicists don't even delve into at all. They have no clue of any of that. They haven't read the medical text, and that was the majority, quite a large chunk of what was written around in the area even before the Bible was written. And that's how we can prove that, It doesn't take God out of the picture. It's just informing people what the term Christ means, you know. So, and there is more to it too, but if you want to watch it, I shared it. I sent it to Doug. It's like, if you want to know, there it is. If you don't, so be it. Keep reading your Hebrew. Keep pretending that Christianity and Judaism is the same thing, and it's all a form of Satanism, and people have no clue what they're doing or saying. And language, what I'm telling you, language will prove this. I've already got like 2 videos that I made about how the in 1240 AD, the um, Jewish scholars added vowels and took away vowels from the Greek Septuagint in order to coin terms to suit their Abrahamic religion. And that's what people that follow Zionist churches, most Christianity in the United States, that's what they're following, and they don't even know it, But, well, and they're not getting the truth, you know? So it'll come out. But I mean, listen to somebody that is the expert in ancient Greek. Not even modern Greek. You can go over to Greece right now, and of course, they're still speaking Greek, but they're not speaking the ancient Greek when these texts were written. And it is different. It's not Koine, it's not something that came after or was added to. It's before all of it. you know, that's why I've always been interested in the migration of people and their languages. And you can see languages that reflect other languages, like when people would move, and you can tell by their movement and their heritage too, and the language, you know, a lot about that. So, anyway, People get it stuck in their head exactly. Well, like, this is what kills a lot of scholars. Um, Two things. That's the way God wrote it, and that's what it is, period. And that they don't care that there's like 3,000 different versions of what they're saying is the word of God. You know, they don't care. As long as they got it in their head, that's the way it is, and they pick one, and that's what they're going with. Any amount of proof of what the original texts are, they aren't going to care because they've got it stuck in their little brains what they want it to be. It suits them, you know. They don't want to hear um, anything that takes their belief away from them, you know, what exactly they believe, whether no amount of proof is going, so that alone, that's how God wrote it, and that's the way it's going to be. That gets in the way of people actually learning the truth. And another thing that gets people is scholars agree. No, not on this. Yeah, okay, like Dr. Hillman and Dr. Carl Ruck that worked at Harvard, and a lot of these people are saying like, um, and like Princeton had dropped their, I think it's Princeton dropped their Greek class and their funding for that because they don't want people to know the truth, you know? So that's my opinion why these colleges aren't sponsoring the ancient Greek so people can, and Dr. Hillman's been speaking it fluently for 35 years. And these other people that say they speak Greek, it's like me. No, you don't. I don't. I can read it a little bit. I'm just learning it. But of course, a side by side translation, and that's how they do it too. But Dr. Allman can read it. They can't. No, they can't. I'm just barely getting how a sentence or a paragraph in Greek would be put together. Um, and it's not. It's like you read a paragraph as one whole thing, and then it can switch up because of the meaning or the sexuality, the context, or what the noun would be. And I mean, it's crazy. And like in Hebrew, they take two nouns to describe what one Greek word is, and it will end up not meaning the same thing. I mean, they've got it all messed up, and people are getting screwed over and lied to constantly from these people that just want to make money off of what um, typically is being pushed by Christianity and Judaism and Muslim and your major religions. So, yeah, they don't want to dig down to the truth. You know, it's like somebody had written to me about the Native Americans, how they fought each other and blah, blah, blah. They need to go back to about 1860 and dig deeper and find out what happened to those people, how they were forced to either pick a side or perish, and that type of thing. They need to dig deeper in the history before they can really speak on it because this person didn't know what they were talking about. So I told them, you need to dig deeper. I was polite about it, but it's irritating. Or that the Civil War was all about the Native American land grab. They freed the slaves so they could join the army to come and help slaughter the natives. You know, true. It's the truth. That's why I speak on it quite often because this is their country. This is our country. They welcomed us here, and they've had broken treaties right up until the last few years. They took some more of their land and moved them again. And the most beautiful places in America, United States, used to be their sacred places that they were moved off of into the worst areas where they couldn't even feed themselves. There was no food, there's no game, it's nothing but desert and, so anyway. So that's why I talk about it quite often because they're still getting messed over while people believe that we should go and fight for like over in Gaza to help Israel when they're not even caring about the red people in our own country. But you're worried about somebody that says they're the chosen people and they're lying. It's those that say they are, but do lie. Say they are Jews, but they do lie. They're called the Khazars from the Caucasus Mountains by Turkey. They've always been liars. And a lot of them went up into the upper steppe, up into Siberia, Russia, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Germany, uh, and then into England and whatnot. Still the same, like into the Rothschilds, and here you go with modern day bullshit. The schools, the churches, everything ran by that dark cabal. Changed our religion, changed the meanings of words and everything just to mess us over and keep control over us, you know? Yeah. I still got these couple ladies that are it's really shocking when you find out, especially especially like somebody like me that was raised around the dark ball and knew their um manipulation tactics and their mind control techniques and hypnotizing techniques and different things that they actually do, rituals and different things that'll keep people under control. But it amazes me, like even with me, um, meeting so many people in my life that they didn't really fool me, but I was stupid enough in the past to think that people actually change. Like if you're around a narcissist or something, like they're going to want to grow with you and grow into a decent human being or something that wouldn't do these radically ugly, nasty, or say these things to other people. But that's not the case. And I started thinking, well, I know these women are thinking like I did, of course you want to help somebody you love and you're hoping they're going to grow out of things that they're doing, but if they're nasty, there's no love there. That's just nasty. That's who they are, you know. These women have to make a decision to um yeah, you're going to learn a lot about psychology when you're trying to figure these people out that are trying to claim that their evil ways are a mental illness. But that's my fight um, with the medical community is trying to claim like narcissists as a mental illness when they're just cruel, evil, nasty people trying to manipulate and control other people. So, yeah. But yeah, my lady friends are still over there trying to make some sense. I mean, they're sending memes around talking about it, and I do too, don't get me wrong. And I do want to educate people on how to guard yourself from these freaks and these weirdos, but being passive and hoping that they're going to change, that's not included on how we have to take care of ourselves because these creatures are evil. They're not sick. They know how to function in society every day just like we do until they don't want to, you know? And we all have that same decision. It's not like they just turn a switch and say, well, now I'm going to like say nasty things to my children or my spouse or whatever. No, they probably planned what they were gonna how they were gonna wreck like somebody's birthday party or the evening meal or a outing for the family or whatever it is. They plan these things to sabotage the whole system. Just whether if they can't take control of a situation with happiness, they'll do it with sadness. And I think they prefer the anger side of the whole situation with people. They'd rather have people angry and upset than be like a clown or the center of attention or a decent person that can um, um, gather people around them, but these freaks don't care, you know. They'll calculate and manipulate things just to ruin somebody's day, you know. So if there's people around, they'll try and be like the nice guy, but if they find they're not being the center of attention, they'll do something weird, and they always do. Watch for that. They really do. They can't sit back and just let somebody else, steal the show. That's not going to happen with the narcissist. So, well, I'm going to get this uploaded. I do appreciate you joining me. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. And when I say peace, I'm peaceful and calm inside most of the time. And I wish, especially the people that have lived through pure living hell like I have and can still be a decent human being, you're the ones I'm wishing peace for, not the ones that aren't going to take that time for other people like that. They don't deserve our peace. I'm combative towards them now. There is nothing that's going to, in my mind, show them any mercy when they don't deserve it. It's just not in me. So, okay. Talk to you soon. Have a good night or day. Later.